Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about how you can get your film into film festivals. Film festivals, without a doubt, is a great way to network with people, get your work out there. Some of the biggest filmmakers got their start because they were accepted into some of the biggest film festivals like Sundance, TIFF, Venice, Berlin, South by Southwest, Tribeca, Telluride, all these big film festivals out there. Think of these festivals as like kind of a jumping pad into the industry. Throughout the years of filmmaking, I've gotten my film into almost 100 plus different film festivals. I'm going to be talking about some of the best ways you can do to get into these film festivals. Alright, so the number one thing I want to be talking about is the story. I think this is probably the most important thing to a film. Also, got to keep in mind that different film festivals want different stories. So a great way to know what story is worth telling is honestly not trying to find a story that you think people would like, finding a story that you would like yourself. And I think this is super important when you write your scripts, because if you want to keep trying to figure out what other people want to listen to, you're never going to really figure it out, and you're going to be wasting your time. Finding an original story that is your own, that you believe is worth telling, that you find very fun and interesting to tell, that is the film I think you make your story about. And obviously there's so much that goes into screenwriting, so you can check it out in a different video. So making sure you follow some good practices of screenwriting, for example, the 3-act structure or story circle, to basically structure your film in a way where it keeps the audience hooked the whole time. Having interesting characters, right? People that are driven by their wants and needs. Also making sure you have interesting dialogue, different conflicts. That's super important to have a good story. Now that you have a very original story worth telling and can get people hooked, you're gonna have to find the people that are gonna be acting in your story. So think of these film festivals as businesses, right? What they want is money. So what you gotta give them is ways that your film can make them more money. And to do that is for them to sell more tickets, right? Attract more people into this film festival because of your film. So a very easy way to do it. And if you can find some very famous people, actors to act in your film, then it's pretty much guaranteed to be played at some of the biggest film festivals in the world. However, we're all starting out, right? If you're not at the level of these actors, then they're not going to act in your films. So a great way to do it is finding people that are very passionate about the story, finding people who are very natural with the character, who can be creative. Finding good actors are super important. They might not be famous, but maybe your film is what turns them into a celebrity. I mean, think how cool that is, right? So making sure you take the casting process very seriously. A kind of a little hack to getting famous people in your film is just by kind of cold emailing them. Obviously, chances are they're not going to respond, but you never know. I mean, if they see your email, they see your DM, they might actually be down, and that could just be a huge jump off point for your career. The next thing I want to talk about is the length of your film. This is so important. It goes back to the idea of, they want to sell more tickets, right? So they want to cram as many films into their blocks as they can. A good rule to follow is just kind of keeping it below 15 or 10 minutes. The best ones are probably like if you make a comedy short that's like 3 minutes long, that's high quality. I mean, it's probably going to get into some really good festivals. However, you still can make a lot of impact with these 30-40 minute long short films. As you can see, they've won Oscars in the past. So make sure that your story fits the timeline, right? Making sure you're not rushing or you're not dragging the story, but length is definitely super important. So definitely keep it as concise as possible. Trim out the fat, like whatever you feel like would drag your film down for the audience, just take it out. And you're gonna have to kill your darling a lot of times. Next thing I want to be talking about is technical professionalism. This is kind of the practical things you can do, making sure your film stands out by having great cinematography, good lighting, good depth, interesting camera movements and shots, having good audio, right? Good sound design, good original score, good editing. That's super important as well. So make sure with this original story, with this great cast, you make sure this film is shown respect by having it be done the most professional and best way you can do. And an advice to achieve really good technical professionalism is by finding very passionate and talented people who can help you on your film, because filmmaking is the ultimate team sport. So you need to find people that are great DPs, great production designers, great sound designers. So finding these talent could help you level up your film. And if you can't find these crew, I can make another video on how to build your crew for your films, but just keep in mind that you want to make sure your film is done the best possible. This kid I know from my film school always says, put all your eggs in one basket, right? So put all your effort into this one short film. Is a great way to get it into these big film festivals. And that kid, super talented, made 3 short films, all gotten huge awards into big festivals. So maybe his advice is worth considering, right? Just make sure you put all your efforts into making it look as good as possible and sound as good as possible. Next thing I want to talk about is promotional work. And you gotta want to generate this hype behind your film because, right, again, they're a business, they want to sell tickets. So if everyone wants to see your film, they're gonna want to pick your film. So having an online presence is quite important, right? Having good promotional campaigns, making Instagram, Facebook pages, creating ads for your film. It's a great way to generate a little bit of hype. You know, these film festivals see, and then they want your film because they want more audience, right? You know, I can make a video on how to market your film in the future, but just making sure you have a good poster, title, logline, good thumbnails, creating a press kit and everything. So it's definitely, you know, a lot of work, but it definitely pays off. Next thing I want to talk about is finding the best festivals for your film. So obviously there's a list of the Oscar qualifying film festivals. Those are probably the best ones to submit to. However, if your film is more genre based, more niche, there's so many other festivals you can look for. Horror film festivals, there's obviously a list out there you can find, like top 100. Just pick out the ones you think would want your film, and you can look at some of the past winners, kind of get a vibe of what kind of films the festival is looking for. Obviously Sundance is like the lottery ticket, but you know, sometimes it works out, right? So just make sure that you're doing a lot of research. Some advice for this is kind of avoiding the film awards. I think those are just cash grabs for these things. It's like a guaranteed win, but it really means nothing in front of other professionals. The ones with the monthly winners, or the ones with like 30 categories each with like $50 submission fees, like just kind of avoid those. Just pick the ones that people recognize, the ones that are legit. Don't let this be like an ego booster, right? This is kind of your way of showing the world your film. So don't let this external validation get to you. Like, let's say you get rejected from these film festivals, that's totally okay, right? And you will, like, absolutely get rejected. Like, even the greatest filmmakers are gonna get their films rejected at these festivals. So just don't even worry about that, because you will get better the more film festivals you submit to, the more films you make. Honestly, like, if you can get your film into a quarter of the festivals you submit to, that's a success. That's a big win, I think. And another thing with this is making sure that you submit early. Having this early bird deadline, first of all, is cheaper. Second of all, you have a higher chance of getting in, because when it's early, they don't really have an opinion of what they want in their festival yet. So if you have a really good film, then they're gonna basically choose your film, right? Also, I want to talk about that film festivals are not the only way to get your work out there. In fact, I feel like more and more films now are having their premieres online. So it could also be good to post it to YouTube or Vimeo. Those are great ways to, you know, the Vimeo staff picks, Omeletto. All those things are great platforms to get your film out there. But however, you know, if you can, definitely I think festivals are a great way to do it. Even though you might not be able to show people your film for like a year, it's always worth it to have the laurels, to have the connections you make from this festival run. And also it could be really fun to kind of travel the world to watch your film in different theaters across different countries, and I think it could be a really fun thing to do with your friends or family. But you know what, all this stuff to get into festivals, it's all about making your film be seen by more people, right? And that's kind of the goal. You want to tell stories that are seen by people. If you want to know how you can make your film stand out, then check out this video right here where I talk about the fundamental steps of making your film stand out from the rest of all the distracting media out there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you there. Peace out.